back to the Act2 podcast, a podcast for the real-life working screenwriter. I am Tasha Hugh.
And I am Josh Hallman.
And as a reminder, Act2 is a network and support group for the everyday working screenwriter, and this podcast is just one of the things we do. So thank you for joining us here. We also have a Patreon, which is a really great community. People have started creating their own writers groups in that community, and we do monthly Q&As, like live Zoom sessions where we break down movies that we've seen or scripts that we've read and learn writing lessons and check in on each other. It's great. And at that Patreon, you can also be kind of the first to know when we have in-person things, which, trust me, we do have. We will have again.
You know what I want to do in the new year?
Tell me.
We've done this before at the brewery, you know, the Act2 get-together of all the people that are either listeners or Patreon or whatever it may be. Nice little community of writers.
You know what I would like to do?
Tell me.
Build on that.
Okay.
Is for Act2, like the writing, the writers part of it, of ActTwoWriters. I know it's confusing. We really should have thought of a different name for our podcast. But the ActTwoWriters, every January, we meet and we do a goal buddy session where people are connected to a goal buddy who they have for the year, who helps them achieve their goals and stay on track for that year. So when we do our January or our New Year Act2 podcast live event, that is something that we should help facilitate, is help you guys pair with someone who is at the event, who might have the same, goals, personality as you, that seems like a right fit. And you guys can be goal buddies for the year and try it out. It's a really great system. Josh and I are technically goal buddies, but he never likes to meet with me. I guess this is our goal buddy session.
We are very fortunate because in my mind, it is an open door goal buddy system where I will message both you and Dave Levinson, at any hour of the day, any question I can possibly think of. And I don't take into consideration that Dave has a young child. I don't take into the consideration that you're on a date night with Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I just send my questions and I just go.
I honestly don't give a shit where you are either. You will always tell me, like, I'm at the Emmys or whatever because it's your wife's big day. And I'm like, okay, but this idea.
Yeah, 100%. I don't care what time it is. I'll message you at 3 a.m. I don't care. By the way, you know what else I was thinking about? We might have talked about this before because I was going to bring this up to you, not on the podcast, but I was involved with something where a theater was rented out. And I ended up talking to the theater manager who's like, if you ever want to rent out the theater, just let me know. I was like, all right, cool. Like one of the screens at the theater. It's like, it feels like 120 people. And I was thinking, what if we rent out a screen, watch a movie, and then just talk about it afterwards with like a bunch of people from Act2?
That sounds like an amazing idea.
2026.
It's our year. It's our year.
This is it. I don't know. I might have stepped on the toes of this intro, Tasha, but we're back. We were off a week. And we were off a week.
We were off a week. I was away, and now we're here. And I think we have a good topic. We definitely have this week's in writings because we haven't seen each other in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get into this week's in writings.
Let's go.
This week in writing.
So, couple things. I had this meeting. It was with a producer. I had this idea, talked to my manager. My manager said, hey, I'm going to connect you with this one producer. I think you guys would hit it. This is like his territory, so I'm going to connect you with it. Like, okay. I went in and I was pitching this one idea. I was actually pitching multiple ideas, but I was pitching one idea in particular. And he started to throw some ideas out. We're in this like brainstorm session. His ideas were getting bigger and larger. Like they were kind of inflating the story to a point where I was like
more expensive and more complex kind of
more
thing?
Expensive. Like, what if they go here? What if it's over here? And I was like, hey man, I think these are really cool, but I'm just going to be honest with you. Like I've kind of been conditioned over the last year or two to kind of stay within a thinking of maybe a little bit more confined, the budgetary purposes. Like this can't be like a $300 million movie. Like this, that's just unreasonable. He said, Josh, just write a good script because a good producer handles the money. We will figure it out. And I was like, dude, what?
Can I just, like, as you said that, I felt like a huge weight lift off.
Uh-huh.
Like my chest cleared. I could
Mhm.
breathe again. Like that's like your mom telling you everything's gonna be okay, sweetie.
100%. I actually told him, I said I'm gonna write that quote down. I actually did.
Put that somewhere on your wall.
I think in this current time, and we hear a lot about how bad things are going, and a lot of people are writing, low budget and contained, rightfully so, which I fully get because I just wrote something that was like contained to the woods, but it was good to hear.
It is good to hear. It's very good to hear. And that speaks to, yeah, exactly what he's kind of saying, that he's speaks to him being a good producer, right? It's like, write your heart out. Write what you think this should be. And then if we need to like shoot in Bulgaria, we'll like swap Chicago out or like, and we'll figure out how to make this work. Or like, okay, we'll do another budget pass, but like I want you to be your best self first so that we get the story that we all feel we love. And then that becomes part of the revision process. I wish everyone understood that as
Yeah.
part of the process, but also conversely, I wish all writers understood that that could be part of the process, because if you do present this $300 million movie to Universal and they like straight pass, like that's not great either. You want Universal to be like, we love this, but it's gonna have to be this. And then you want the writer to be like, I got you. Like I know how to make it still what this movie is and what we all love about it, but shave off this budget stuff to make it more affordable. Like that's the ideal working relationship. And I think so many producers and execs probably just flat out pass on things that feel too expensive because they've met so many writers who are unable to do that work on the back end.
That's beautiful.
Is my theory. But yeah, I love that. I love that guy.
I do too. All right, go.
Okay. Listen, Hunger Games is the greatest series of all time.
Oh, let's go.
My husband has never seen The Hunger Games nor read them. I, when they were coming out, read them and watched them. I was the person who I was taking the bus at the time because I didn't have a car in Los Angeles, and I was crying, sobbing, like like sobbing on a bus in public, reading The Hunger Games. This is how much I love this book series, and then watch the whole thing. He's never seen it, and like so much time has gone by that it's just never like Harry Potter is definitely like a series you see if you ever date me or know me. You got to understand who I am.
Quick question. Had Paul seen Harry Potter before?
Yes.
But not like seen it.
Not like seen it. Yeah, exactly.
He didn't see it sold.
He hasn't fucking read it. We're still working on that.
Okay.
He's got time. He's with me forever now. So we started watching The Hunger Games, and we just finished the second movie, Catching Fire, this week. Joshua Hallman.
Yeah.
The tears that we have cried watching these movies. And I think he was like, I didn't realize these movies were like this. Like, people are dying. It is gritty. It is dark. The cinematography is pretty gritty. It has like sort of almost like a grayscale in a way. Like it's very stark, which is exactly what it's supposed to be thematically. And he was like, I just thought they were, like the Divergent series. They're just like the kind of like light and fluffy YA kind of stuff, and it's not. And the story is so good, and her character arc is so amazing, and there's so many surprises in the writing, where they are making you ask a lot of questions, and you think, oh, that's just bad writing because like I'm asking this question, then you're like, oh, they planned this all along. There's just so many interesting surprises in the writing. So it's all to say, if you haven't seen Hunger Games, if like my husband, you were like, why do I need to see that YA bullshit? Go check it out. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I feel like it got lost, or maybe not lost, but kind of mixed in with Twilight or something.
Yeah, it seemed to ride the coattails of Twilight, but it wasn't Twilight at all.
No, I actually weirdly rewatched the 4 movies now. I watched the 4th one as well, but I watched them like 3 weeks ago.
The Twilight series or the Hunger Games series?
The Hunger Games.
No, you didn't. Really?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I told you this. And we just threw it on, and like I was like, oh, and like I was like, I forgot about this, and I forgot, and
Yeah.
it's completely different than what
You thought in your head.
Kind of. I actually have read the books as well.
What?
And so, yeah,
Joshua?
I've read the Hunger Games.
I had
really
no
like the Hunger
idea.
Games. Well, Tasha, I do like the Hunger Games, and I actually haven't even finished all of Harry Potter, and I like Harry Potter more. I know. It's weird, right? Anyway, Hunger Games, awesome.
Hunger Games, awesome. Okay, my last this week in writing is I posted on our Instagram that I got my big paper out again
Yeah, you did.
because I am pitching on a video game series, and I know the video game. I've played it. I love it, but it's been many years since I played this video game. So rather than play it again, I just thought, hey, I'll watch a 100% completion walkthrough of this video game, which is 65 episodes, each an hour long, which is why I spent the entire weekend doing this. I was just sitting on my couch. My hip hurts because I was just sitting on my couch all day watching this and just taking notes. But I had my big paper out, is the point. And
Wait a
as
minute.
you saw, yeah,
You're watching 65 hours of something?
yeah, fast forwarding through,
okay.
you're skipping 10 seconds ahead continually until you get to like scenes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's a lot of fighting and stuff. But as I posted on our Instagram, I did 3 columns, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and because in my head, I feel like I know what those acts are already because I played the game, I love the game, and I know it. So I was just kind of detailing by hand in each of those columns different beats that I definitely know I love, or beats that I forgot that may be useful even if it's not going to be in the movie. That's something that could inform other scenes or be blended in a certain way. So I was kind of writing everything down because the point was I forgot a lot of the small details of the game, but I remember the bigger whole. And this I guess exercise was to get back into the details of the game so that I can flesh Act 2 out when I pitch it.
So I've been blessed to see this paper you're speaking of.
Yeah.
This treasure map, which
It
is
is
folded properly. Like
Yeah,
something
like
you'd pull out of some-
threefold,
yeah.
a trifold, back and front.
So when you're filling in on this sheet of paper, are you filling in things you think could happen, general beats, or like specific things that happen in the game? Both? How are you separating what might happen to what should happen?
Because in my head, I've already created what I think the story is. This was more like what literally happened in the story. But as things would come up, the backside of my giant paper, I've divided it into all kinds of different columns and sections. One section was like clues, because to me, the second act is kind of a mystery. We're asking a lot of questions as the audience, and our main character is discovering it slowly as we go through Act 2. So I would be writing like clues that were interesting over there, or like themes that came up. I would write it over there. Characters, because I don't remember every single character. So I'd start writing different characters in a character box and kind of the purpose they served, or, just a shorthand about who they were, or any notes that came up. Because to your original question, as details would come up or scenes would come up in the game that I just did not remember, I was like, I don't want to put this in the movie. It's such a weird, bizarre side quest. I'm going to write it down in my Act 2 section, but in the back, I'm going to say, like, this is a really great theme, or like, this is a really great takeaway from that, because that scene, even though it's not going to be in the movie, has something in it. It might be an expositional detail. It might be a character moment that's really important.
Yeah.
Or the type of character she's talking to is great, but I can't make it that character. I have to make it a different character because I don't want to go to this part of the world. Whatever it is, if it reminds me of something I want to do in the movie, I'm going to put it on the back side of the paper in a different section. But my Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 was just literally beats from the game as they're coming. And I would like underline a new location so that my brain could quickly go to, like, my eyes could quickly find the different sections as I was doing it.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. And like you said, it's a treasure map. So now I feel like I've trifolded it. Now I feel like I have the entire movie, the entire story, everything that's in my brain about this video game is now just on this giant sheet of paper. And yeah, like, I feel really cool. Like, unfold it and
Yeah, it
like
looks
look
cool.
around. Yeah. I texted Josh afterwards. I was like, anyone who doesn't use big paper is an idiot. This is so good.
Listen, I never thought I would leave a whiteboard because I still love my whiteboard that I'm just gazing at right now, like it's looking back at me. But I get the big paper. Like
Yeah.
it's the happy medium, and you can take it with you
Yeah.
if you need to.
Yeah.
God, am I going to get rid of my whiteboard?
No, you're not. You can't get rid of your whiteboard. This is going to be part of our topic today about how to get unstuck. We keep our whiteboards.
What a transition.
But one day when I die, Joshua, you're going to find all these treasure maps in my room of old stories.
I'll be like unfolding. I'm like, what? She didn't write this?
It just
Oh, man.
left in the drawer. Anyways, our topic today comes from a listener who is asking us, how do you get unstuck when you are writing a script and suddenly you just hit a wall and you're like, I don't know where to go next. I don't know what to do. Is this story even worth it? How do you get unstuck? And a lot of people call that writer's block. I personally don't believe in writer's block. Josh, we've
Wow.
talked about writer's block. It's been years since we talked about writer's block, but I don't feel like you believe in writer's block either.
No,
No.
I believe in like writer fatigue and,
Yes.
kind of being caught in the middle of something, like you're in a tornado. But I know the feeling of writer's block, but I also feel like there's ways around it.
Yes. I agree. So that's what this is about. And I actually really appreciate that the listener who emailed us did not say, what do we do about writer's block? They said, how do you get unstuck? Because
Yeah.
they also clearly know that it's not about being blocked. It's about just hitting a wall. Sometimes your brain gets tired, or sometimes you just didn't plan your story well enough. And that's just the process of creating a story.
Yeah.
So I think the way to structure this, Joshua, is I'll say one of the things that gets me unstuck, and you please chime in, and you'll probably have all your own different versions. And I'm actually curious what tips and tricks you have to get unstuck.
Yeah. I'm sure we're going to have some overlap.
I'm sure. I haven't done this one in a while, but if I'm stuck because I don't know what my character is going to be doing next, which is a very particular problem sometimes you'll face in a script, sometimes it's plot, but if it's ever that I have no idea what my character is going to do next and that's how I'm stuck, I will journal in the character's voice.
Oh.
I will write by hand, or if I'm lazy, on my computer, but by hand is better, where you're just writing like what you did today or how you feel about the world today. Or it's literally like do a journal entry, do several journal entries. Maybe this will take you a couple days to do, but the more I talk in my character's voice, the more what I care about starts to come through, the more what I don't care about, the more what I'm angry about. Like stuff starts to happen where I realize who my character is and what decisions they may make in a place where before I was uncertain.
Interesting. I've done the journaling from a character's voice, but I don't know how helpful it's been for me.
Okay. I will definitely say it's sometimes not been helpful.
Yeah, I just
not
feel like
100%.
I subconsciously know why I'm doing it, and then I just like write around the problem, and then and so then I have to, and then I'm like, well, now this person has a problem of avoidance, and now they're not going to
Now
deal
this
with the
person
problem.
is me. Now I'm just journaling.
That's actually probably a little too accurate, but I love that you do this because it makes sense to me, and I could see that working. But I wish that cracked it for me.
I think when it doesn't work for me is when I literally do just like a daily journal in the voice, because you're not talking about anything dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And what you need is something dramatic in order to get unstuck and to just, tell a drama, a story. So sometimes I will instead journal specifically about either what's happening in the script or like throw a curveball into the character's life. That feels like thematic and appropriate to whatever's going on in my story. Like, I don't know, your husband leaves you, and that's key to whatever story you're telling, or like loss is key to this character's story. And so you're trying to figure out, how does she deal with loss? What would she do in a situation where she's suddenly left alone? And then that can kind of give you a way forward, I guess.
No, I love that. And so when are you specifically journaling the thing you're stuck on?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I can feel that I don't know my character's voice well enough, and that's why I can't progress, in which case I just need to get back a handle on my character's voice again. But if I'm stuck because it's like both a character and a plot problem, meaning I kind of get my character, but I have no idea how they would confront this issue that I've just presented in the script, and so now I'm stuck, then I'll do that kind of combo of two things, the plot and the character.
I mean, I think this is obvious, but I feel like the reason you do this is because character dictates the story, right? Like, so
Yes.
that's why I'm just bringing that up, just to clarify.
That's a
Because
good
you'll be
reminder.
like, oh, well, this will happen. They'll choose to do this. And then, you know what? I'm going to start journaling my character's voice again. You just convinced me.
Let's try it. Maybe it'll help.
Well, mine is kind of funny that you would say what you just said, and what usually the first thing I do is I go take a walk and I just start talking to myself about the story. And oftentimes I'll record it on my phone. And I'm like, okay, so this is my script about this father and daughter, and they're living over here. And then I'll just literally talk through the story, like everywhere that I am. And then when I start getting to the area where I'm stuck, I'll say, okay, now I'm kind of stuck here. It's as if I'm talking to somebody else.
So
And
it's like you're pitching it. You're already pitching stuff that you've written down that you know very well.
yeah,
Oh, interesting.
yeah. So I'm just talking, and I'm pitching it. Okay. And then they get here, and now I'm having some problems kind of working through this. Why am I having those problems? I think it's because I haven't set this up, and like I'll just try to
Mm.
work through it in that way. And I'll just say whatever comes to my mind. Sometimes I'll go back and listen to it. Other times I won't. But sometimes I'll get ideas from that where I'm like, well, like it's kind of psychotic because I'll talk as if I'm talking like someone is talking back to me. It's like, well, why don't you try this? What if this happened? Well, that won't work because this and this and this. So I'm having a conversation with myself.
I love that.
Saying this aloud is kind of crazy, but
I love when writers are psychotic with their process.
yeah. So I do that, and I try not to look like a lunatic.
Do the questions back to yourself, that's what gets you unstuck, I'm imagining,
Yeah.
is just like basically having a conversation with someone about your story.
100%. It's like you're pitching it to someone else who's trying to poke holes, but also trying to help you.
I've always known that you took walks and like you've said you talk to yourself, but I didn't realize to this extent. I love it.
If I don't take walks, I'm a crazy person.
I don't know if walks help me. Maybe I'm not walking correctly.
I don't think you're walking correctly. You need headphones in. You need a freedom to not feel like you're just talking. Because I've been in areas where I'm just talking to myself, and I'm like, I'm crazy.
Where do you do this?
I do have a path. I have kind of a specific area.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have to.
Yeah, I know my walk.
Is it a tree-lined walk? Is it a nice walk? I know where you live. Is it like surrounded by cars?
There's
How
cars.
peaceful is it?
It's not peaceful, but I've done the hike walk where I have the
Mm.
exact same conversation.
Is that better or same?
No, because then I'm like, I should be enjoying nature and just
Oh.
in quiet, free my mind.
Hmm.
Just overthink it a little bit. No big deal. However, the walk and talk definitely helps me.
Yeah, I think I'd have to get over the insecurity of talking, and I would probably be walking my dog, which is fine. She can go off leash, but walking around my neighborhood amongst my neighbors, talking feels like a hurdle to get over.
As someone who's done this a lot, I would suggest not going with anything or anyone or any
Oh.
pet. I would go solo.
Solo.
A solo walk.
I feel like you'd have to. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a park nearish my house that has like a walkway that no one goes on, like in the back section of this dog park. That may be the place for Tasha at least to try it, because then I don't feel like I'll be judged. And if I have my headphones on, people think I'm talking on the phone.
100%.
Also, who the fuck cares what people think about me?
Who the fuck cares?
I'm really, yeah, I'm old enough to not care. Okay, my next thing is a whiteboard. So don't throw away your whiteboard, however big or small it is. It is so helpful because I usually like don't keep the shit I write on my whiteboard, similar to you recording, and like you may or may not listen to it. It's just the process of like exercising things with an O, not an E, that is important. So I will just take a pen and just start writing shit. Like it might be like, I'm stuck. Why am I stuck? It's like almost the same conversation you're having, but I'm doing it in writing. And I think the physical act of writing it rather than typing it is very key in these situations. And again, if you have a big paper, you can also do it on a big paper. If you don't have a giant whiteboard, I've done so many different versions. It really just depends on what you're stuck on. Like I've done act 1, act 2, act 3, and just like quick beats, and then get to the part I'm stuck and be like, oh, now that I can like literally step back in my room, look at you from afar, I can see that the reason I'm stuck is because all this act 1 shit isn't building to the right thing. Or I write around it. I like take a break. There's a block of empty space where the stuckness is, and then I just keep doing the third act because I know what my third act is. I just don't know what the fuck is in here in act 2B. which is usually my problem spot. And then you start to just see a picture forming as you're doing that. And then that's like a structured version. Another version is just to brainstorm. We did this all the time in high school and middle school, right? You just like bubbles and you just write things, and you just write to your heart's content about whatever is coming to your mind regarding your script and the things that you're stuck on. And eventually you'll write something that'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that might be a way to try. And you may try it and get stuck again. It may not be the right thing, but at least you're progressing. You're doing the grind. You're doing the work of figuring out what the hell this story is about, and that's part of it.
So mine, I had the whiteboard on my list as well.
How do you use your whiteboard?
I need the bird's eye view, no matter what. Like, so I just need to stare at the whiteboard, and again, I'll kind of talk to myself and just I'll write down. It depends. Sometimes you're struggling with the character, sometimes you're struggling with the actual structure of the story or whatever it may be. I'll usually write down Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and just kind of write down the beats that happen. And then if something's missing, maybe I'll just circle that area and just be like missing or whatever it is. And then just so I can
Yeah.
see why it's missing. And then a lot of times, maybe if there's issues in Act 3, obviously it relates to Act 1 or 2. And then you're kind of like drawing lines and just trying to put it all together. And like I'll have a little section for characters. Well, it's really just throwing like spaghetti at a wall.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the whiteboard. I love it because you just erase things.
Yeah.
On top of the whiteboard, I mean, aside from just being able to write on it, you have the magnetic index cards that you can just put on.
Yeah. We use those in our writer's room, and Josh and I use them to break our spec. They're the best.
The
Wish
freaking
they were
best.
slightly bigger, but they're the best. Yeah, there are countless times where Paul has come into the room and I'm just like sitting on my beanbag and I'm just staring at the whiteboard wall. He's like, "You okay?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm working." He's like, "Are you?" "Yeah, I'm
You good?"
working. Leave me alone.
Staring at
He's
my
like,
whiteboard.
You've been staring for 30 minutes. "Yeah, I'm working."
What I love about writing is sometimes you write down phrases or things that only make sense to you. And if another person saw them, they would think you're a lunatic.
Yeah.
You could just write down, Kill's best friend. And it makes sense to you in the story. But to someone else, you're like, wait, what?
Are you okay? Yeah, I also will say whiteboards are very expensive, right? It took me a very long time. Actually, Netflix bought my whiteboard. Thank you, Netflix, very much. Because during the pandemic, when we were in a writer's room, because they didn't have to pay for a writer's room, they were like, here's like a stipend to like buy office supplies. So I sort of got around the whole whiteboards are so expensive thing. Something I did though before that, when I was in my apartment, I found there's like a whiteboard, kind of like a paper. It's a little bit. It feels a little bit like poster paper is how thick it was. And I bought just a really big one. It's much cheaper, and I just like taped it to my wall. And so I used that. It's not as good as a whiteboard, meaning like it didn't erase as well. It was a pain in the ass. I would have to clean it a lot more, but it absolutely did the trick. So that's another thing. Or like do the same thing, but with like giant, not parchment paper. What am I thinking? But like at office supply stores, they have like those big sort of papers you can roll out, that you can draw on and do the same thing. Because I feel like, as Josh is saying, a whiteboard is so important because it allows you to literally step back from your story, and to look at it from a different point of view that just helps you kind of in a mad scientist way figure out what's going on. So those are also workarounds if you don't have a whiteboard. Another trick for me is to watch stuff that's in the same genre.
Damn it, Tasha. This is also mine.
Yeah. I win. This is a great one because it just loosens things up. You don't have
Yeah.
to sit there and even like with a notebook or anything. You just need to like consume it. And I think it like puts you in the space, it puts you in the world. And then something for me always just goes, "Oh, they did a really cool thing. This would be my version of that cool thing in my story that I have." You're not copying shit. That's not what I'm saying. It loosens up your brain.
Yeah. Something important I want to add to this is I try to watch things that I haven't seen before or that I haven't seen in a long time. Because, for instance, if I'm trying to write a time travel movie and I start watching Back to the Future, I'm just going to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, and this happens, and then this happens. And I know that movie inside and out. So to me, it's really important to watch something that I might not be as familiar with.
So if you're going to do a time travel movie and you're stuck, watch Time Cop instead of...
Watch Time Cop. That's a perfect one. Even if even if you're like, this is not going to help me, sometimes these things help you.
Yeah, agree.
I'm going to just kind of piggyback off of this. This is kind of like another one is I read scripts as well. Other scripts, not heavy. I can't do like some, drama from World War I that's going to make me depressed. Only because I don't write in that territory, which if you do, that's great. However, I just will tend to read scripts sometimes just to see how people do certain things. Not knowing what the script is, I'll like go to old blacklist scripts, or if you've sent me something in the past that I've never read before, or I have a folder full of scripts. So I'll usually do that, and it just will help me.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be in the same genre. You just kind of like pick from a list, and just the simple fact of it inspires you to read other people's writing kind of helps loosen the gears a bit.
Yeah, of course it's great if I'm reading something that's in the similar genre, but I always find myself surprised when I read a script because I always learn something without fail, whether it's
Yeah.
good or bad.
Yeah.
So I usually have a takeaway. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem, but sometimes it does. It's
Yeah.
not like a surefire way, but it's like, maybe I'm stuck, maybe not. I don't know.
I feel like the worst case scenario of this tool to get unstuck of reading a script is that you come away being like, all right, get back to the computer, like keep going, because this person did it and this person did a great job, or this person did a bad job and I can do better, or whatever it is that drives you after reading this script. If nothing else, it inspires you that way.
Yeah, of course. When you read a script sometimes and you're like, wait, what? How is this a produced script? This doesn't make any sense. And you're like, wait a minute, why is this moment working? Why is this moment working? And then you kind of relate it to your own writing, and you can just kind of figure things out. So yeah, I usually read things that have either gone out into the world or are set up somewhere but just haven't been made yet. But like things that actually have people have gravitated towards.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great one. Wasn't on my list because I don't do it, but I
Wow.
like it.
Wow.
Another tool for me for getting unstuck is to not work on the script at all. To step away for at least a few days, maybe a week. This is why multitasking, which was a topic we had a couple days ago about the longevity of your career, is such a key tool, because when I stop working on something, I always have something else to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Also, maybe your brain is just fried. Like Josh said at the very beginning of this episode, there's writer fatigue. There's not writer's block. So maybe you just need a break. And I like almost guarantee, I'm not going to necessarily put money down, but maybe I will. If you stepped away and then you reread your script days later, give it a week, let's say, you will stop being unstuck. You'll read it from the top to the bottom and you'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
it was here all along. I didn't realize it. Give it a shot.
So this was also on my list. I try to do this. This is easier said than done, I think. When you write something, that's all you know, and you feel like you're just so close. You're either sometimes you get mad at yourself, and you're like, I need to finish this, but you have to force yourself to like just not think about it. And sometimes it takes like 2 days to just stop thinking about it, and then another few days to not think about it, and then you just come back and you read it. I agree. That probably is the most helpful thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I have another one that I think probably on your list. You just ask your writers group, or your goal buddies, your friends, whoever your trusted. If you're so fortunate to have this trusted group of individuals, you just talk it out with them and let them figure it out for you.
There have been so many. I feel sorry for you guys because I will write you paragraphs of stuff, because oftentimes I will be writing something that you guys don't know about, or like you just haven't read yet, so you have no context. And then I find myself stuck and I'm like, fuck. In order for them to help me, I need to now tell them everything about the story.
Yeah.
So that I can just solve this one tiny scene piece. And bless you guys, because you're so patient. You just let me ramble, and like I try to do. And oftentimes, to be totally honest, just pitching it to you guys and like trying to tell it in a succinct form as I write these paragraphs to you. By the time you guys read it, I'm like, I got it. I figured it out.
The worst is when I'll come in like 10 minutes late to a conversation, and I'm like catching up, and I'm like, oh. And then I'll like have ideas, and then at the very end, you're like, figured it out. I'm like, fuck. I-
Or Dave figured it out and you're like, God damn it.
oh yeah, Dave just like cracks it. You're like, that's it. I'm like, damn, my bad. But you said something interesting. You're absolutely right. When you write it out, or if I'm talking to you, I'm like, Tasha, I'm really struggling on this movie, and this is why, and this happens, and then you'll ask like 2 questions. You'll be like, well, why are they chasing after that thing? And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, because, and then you just start opening up the problems and kind of figuring it out yourself, and then you're like, I'm good.
Yeah. I think one of the keys about you talking to yourself as on your walk is that you're talking to someone else, even though it's just yourself, because I think that to me is the key. Like, I think what cracks it open for me before you guys ever say anything when I'm texting you is that I'm trying to explain to you the movie in its like most distilled form.
Mhm.
So it is the most succinct I can be because I don't want to just fucking tell you the entire fucking movie. I want to
Yeah.
just get to the point and get you to understand what this movie is as soon as possible so I can get to my question about what the problem is. And then in doing that, I'm like, "Oh, oh, I totally get what it is because I've distilled it for myself, and now I see the problem more clearly," which is just a fascinating thing about writing.
When writing out or talking to you guys, sometimes what I'll also do is write the log line of what I think this movie is. This is when I'm in the stuck territory, because oftentimes I think you can kind of see the flaws of something, of where someone's not really connecting with the movie, and that's just me. Like sometimes I'll see a log line, it's like, oh, that's just an idea. So I'll write that out sometimes, and I'll even do that with you guys, and I've done that with Dave a million times, and he's like, why are you like obsessing over this? And I'm like, dude, it's hard to explain, but this is why. It's because I feel like I need this for me, and that's what I'm thinking, and, so
Mm, interesting. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, my last one. This is, I think, my version of your walking and talking, where it's like a it's a little psycho to do, and I think anyone who's listening to this is probably gonna be like, "I'm never doing that." But when I'm stuck, I will bring up my script on my computer, put it over here to the left, start a new script, total blank page, and just start rewriting my own script. Just start from the top. And there's something about it that creates a flow that also helps me to better understand my story because I'm not just reading it, which is a very kind of like passive, like sitting back reading something. I'm in it. Again, I'm leaning in and I am feeling the emotions and I'm in the scenes and feeling the surroundings, all the things. So I'm almost like recreating the story, but with a sort of better understanding of the story because I've already written a lot of it. Let's say I got stuck at the midpoint. I've already written to the midpoint. So I already know where I'm going to. And so I can start to flesh things out more. And I can start to see, like, oh, I didn't layer things in Act One. And maybe that's part of the problem. And then by the time I get to the midpoint, sometimes I'm still stuck and I try all these other things. But a lot of times I'm like, oh, I get it now. Like I get what the problem is. I get where I need to go because I'm back in it. And it's just like to me is a huge hack and it's very laborious because you're going in, rewriting every single word, you're paying attention a lot. It's a lot of brain power to do it. But God, that is one of the most helpful things for me.
do you ever copy it directly, or is it like
No.
completely okay, so you read a paragraph or you read a scene beforehand, and then you start rewriting it?
I look at it and I just type as I'm reading it.
Okay, but you
It
you will, let's say you have exposition. It'll be word for word sometimes of the exact exposition.
It's
That
almost always word for word.
Oh,
I'll
I see,
sometimes
okay.
change a few things here and there because I'm like, "Oh, this is a better way of saying this now that I've written it."
Yeah.
Yeah, I have plenty of scripts in my folders that are like half scripts because I stopped, started a new one, and that's actually still my V1 technically, but I've redone it.
I like that.
It's really helpful. Okay, we did it. Hopefully, any of these tools will help you get unstuck. Any combination of them will almost certainly get you unstuck. If you have your own tips and tricks that get you unstuck, please share them because I want to know what they are so I can also do them.
Yeah.
So put those in the comments or shoot us an email if you have any tips that you use that get you unstuck. Would be awesome to hear. Okay, quote of the day. The aim of the artist is not to solve a problem, irrefutably, but to make people love life in all its countless, inexhaustible manifestations. Leo Tolstoy. Please remember to rate and subscribe. Follow us at ActTwoWriters for more awesome writing stuff. You can follow me, Tasha, at Story Thursday on Instagram or on Twitter at Tasha 3.0.
I'm Joshua Hallman on Twitter, Josh Hallman on Instagram.
And as always, the Act Two podcast is a production of Act Two, a network and support group for the everyday working screenwriter. This episode was edited by Paul Lundquist.